friends, I feel, after quite some deeper consideration, that this is a high time we need a new start. We have to face the reality, understand it more deeply, and go about our connections in a very different way. I had to take a courageous step, a courageous and sincere initiative from my side to consider it all carefully, to look what is really happening, to understand what really the roots of these conflicts are and what our usual reactions are. I was considering in what way I would go about it all when the one who is in the opposite side is my own son, my brother, my very close friend. It gave me a different vision to deal with this situation. I realized that so far we have always been going in terms of fighting the bad, punishing and creating more fear, hoping that out of fear the other will keep away from doing wrong. In this way, I realized that I am holding to my idea of right and wrong without really considering that we all have very different upbringings. We have been growing in widely different cultural, social, political and religious backgrounds. In that sense, we are going about with a different set of values and standards. Seeing it, I recognized that the most important thing for really understanding is to look directly without bringing any judgment in, without projecting through any prejudices. It became a very different way to connect, considering it all from the bottom of my heart, with a deep sincerity. This helped me understand the situations more directly and in a plain and simple way. This is also gave me the basis to look without wanting to punish, without wanting to take revenge, and also without going into blaming and condemning. In effect, it became also an attempt to connect without trying to provoke more fear, nor trying to bring the opponent on the knees. Instead, I began to look more carefully how I can bring a sincere understanding in my own way of looking at things. And also through that communicate, share and try to understand and help the other. Also who, without such deeper consideration, is equally caught in a very different interpretation of the same situation. I recognized the significance to see the reality the way it really is. And this also to see what our common ground is. It is decisive to realize and remember that we are one world. I want to make it visible and clear that not having this deeper and direct way of looking based on all kind of one-sided perceptions, we were doing many things which were wrong. Not only as we believed that our opponent is wrong, we are equally wrong, and we pushed each other more and more in this fear-based, power-oriented, aggressive, destructive developments, which are culminating into this state of the world. Just going on fighting, hating, creating fear, nor making each other feel bad by trying to look superior and playing the power game, has no future. It dawned to me clearly that through such an approach we can only go into more catastrophic and destructive processes which can create a global chain reaction with its incalculable risks and suffering. To such an extent that is, in the worst case, it become the end of life on this planet. We have so much destructive potential. Put together and using it against each other, we can destroy so many such planets. Continuing our habitual approach, we can put an end to the life. And this very, very beautiful, very, very precious, really wondrous spaces which we have on this earth, without really seeing what we are doing. I have come to recognize the urgent need to consider each other, to listen to each other more deeply, rather than looking to find ways to punish, nor holding to our tendency to condemn. Be revengeful to see how we all can contribute to understand our situation, our reality, and the fact of life. We need to consider the deeper nature of reality. Look how we can come together, how we can help each other, instead of looking to each other on the basis of fear and mistrust, and trying to prove who is more powerful and who has a greater advantage, and so on. Not so long ago, as I shared some of these considerations to some of my friends and advisors, one pointed out saying that it all sounds so utopian. He said a great majority are simply going about life letting themselves get manipulated to their unconscious fear and greed. It is as if nobody wants to take any real responsibility for their lives. I answered him by saying that there is something real in what he says, but on the other hand, exactly that is what it is all about understanding ourselves in connecting with each other, with nature, about understanding that we as individuals have a responsibility to consider deeply and realize to understand the nature of our inner reality, so that we don't get manipulated and exploited. We have to really approach from a different basis. It became clear to me that first of all, it is necessary to consider the other not as an enemy, nor look at the other with suspicion and follow our manipulative tendencies. But being in each moment sincere, honest, plain, and be direct, it is clearly necessary to consider sympathetically what the situation is, what our deeper understanding is. What is it that we really need to see in order to take helpful steps? Of course, it is possible only when first of all, from my side, I take with a quality of sincere and honest openness a non-punishing, not power-oriented approach. To really look at the situation and to find answers. Yes, it can really work only when those who are on the other side also begin to see that it is a new situation. That this is our new reality. First of all, to make it visible that going on the old approach, we can create so much suffering, so much pain. We only destroy so much, which is so rare and precious. We can bring so much unwanted, brutal pain for many, many who are so innocent, so helpless, and so much trapped in the middle of all this. Most of the people do not want to fight, nor want to hate. They don't want to go into any kind of war. They only want to live beautifully, peacefully, and enjoy their life. We have to consider our reality together. We have to become truly friends. When also from the other side there is a willingness to consider, by making it clear that this is a very different stuff. We are making a new beginning. We are making a different way of connecting. Not to intimidate, not to manipulate, not to condemn, not to punish. This also I want to make visible. If my own son or someone who is very close to me would be in the role of the opponent, what will I do? I will not be from my heart trying to punish, bringing suffering or revengefulness. I will connect and see that the only way to bring about a different understanding is when I will connect honestly, share my understanding, and request that this is be considered carefully, be considered sincerely. And when the other notices it and an understanding is arising, in that other also there is a willingness to see that the usual approach is not the way for a healthy and peaceful future. I have to attempt to appeal through my honesty, vulnerability, the deeper layers in the other, and which are maybe quite hidden, but it is there. In the past, many steps were taken. Many things were done out of fear, out of a one-sided perception of our reality. We were only creating more pain, suffering to many, many people, destroying precious life, destroying the nature, destroying the already disturbed climate. We have a greater responsibility. It is high time that we come together and consider it all in sincerity and humility. I realize that I have to create a basis of trust, where unconditionally offer a future beyond punishment, forgiving myself and forgiving the other for all the wrongdoings of our past. Only in such an atmosphere, without fear, we can create an atmosphere for deeper considerations and a hearty connection. I can only say that I will do everything with my capacity to pursue all those who are connecting with me. Do not go into look for ways to take revenge, nor to manipulate or to punish anybody, but take the initiative to consider and allow this deeper and honest perception of our reality. We need to support everybody towards a deeper understanding. Because deep within I have seen, we all come from the same wonder of this life. We are all coming into this life in our own unique way, with the quality of simplicity and innocence. We all go in different ways. Some have the luck to consider and understand it more carefully. Some have been not able to go into deep consideration of all this. In a deeper observation, we can see that we are all in the same boat. And we need to help each other. We don't need to punish each other don't need to destroy further. Let us come together, consider the situation and create a world of friendship, where we look at each other not as opponents, where we connect to each other not only with mistrust and fear. Instead of this mistrust, in spite of the fear, with careful considerations, still to look what is a way to bring real understanding. What is the way to bring more sustainable reality of peace? It is a very deliberate and careful consideration which is required. And it can be only lived and realized when we are all considering, we are all allowing the courageous and plain sincerity which we have to bring right now. We have no future when we go on fighting, being revengeful and use aggressive force to intimidate and humiliate the other. We have to see clearly and commit to help each other. There is a need to allow love, to allow friendship. So the conflicts which we have in life get dealt with a different nature. It will become a playing together in this wondrous process of life, rather than always being so much suspicious, mean and following blindly in mistrust, a fighting tendency. I would like to share with all my friends present here or elsewhere, and anyone and everyone who is ready to consider, everyone who can understand, who in some responsible capacity has been considering in their own way to come together to create a framework for understanding, to support each other. Whatever be the mistakes of this past of anybody, to give everybody the chance to start again, to consider, to understand. We approach from our understanding in a sympathetic, compassionate, friendly, and loving basis, trying to understand the other, trying to bridge to the other, trying to help the other, also to see what our common reality is, what our basics are. I hope and look forward to have a great future for all of us. We are in this turning point in our life, individually and globally. Without such a conscious consideration and a very careful, sympathetic way of understanding ourselves and each other, we are missing the chance. We are missing the possibility to live joyously and peacefully on this planet, this earth, our home. It is having all the qualities to be the paradise. But in our misunderstanding, we are very near to losing everything. Everything is at stake. Not so long ago, a friend told me we can coexist or coexit. It has become clear to me that we have to act on this basis of seeing and considering the wholeness of our reality, and not blindly go on clinging to fixed concepts of right and wrong. It has become clear to me that we can move forward only together, because we are one reality. We need to individually and globally take time to reconsider it all quietly, with sufficient distance to our own fixed concepts, our pride, our prejudices, so that we use our rules and the regulations with a deeper consideration of our reality, not against life, but for life. Friends, I see the chance for a magnificent future where we are becoming truly human and realistic and can realize a beautiful and loving future in mutual respect and freedom. It all has to be considered and understood more deeply by all of us individually. It is going beyond following blindly the concept of winners and losers, and beginning to be together as fellow players of one family of life. My understanding, my trust is that our Creator, whatever name or indication anyone may have, to refer to the mysterious, wondrous source of our life here. Some simply call it the source, nature, life. This Creator is supporting us. Thank you.